Our main character is just a broke college kid whose girlfriend openly cheats on him, then has her new lover's goons beat him senseless. But little did he know, Du Bang would awaken the super keyboard system. Everyone who looked down on him is about to get their faces slapped. Later on, Du Bang even saves a tycoon's daughter from an assassination attempt. She instantly falls for him because of it, and from then on, he begins his climb to the pinnacle of life. Inside a convenience store, a young man is standing in front of a vending machine, staring and gulping. Suddenly, a voice snaps. "Hey you, hurry up!" The words startle him, and he awkwardly walks away. The girl behind him scoffs to herself. Humph, what a virgin. He steps out of the store and chuckles. This is Du Bang, a 22-year-old, third-year college student. A typical otaku who loves gaming online and has a tiny social circle. A while back, his friends set him up, and he finally got a girlfriend, ending 21 years of being single. And today, his girlfriend of 2 months finally agreed to get a room. Du Bang grins shamelessly at the thought. Standing at the door, Du Bang is a nervous wreck. He grabs the doorknob, throws the door open, and says, "Honey, I'm here." Du Bang is shocked to find the room completely empty. There's not a single soul in sight. Du Bang searches the whole room under the bed, in the closet, even the bathroom, but his girlfriend is nowhere to be found. Weird, where'd she go? Then, Du Bang spots a set of black lingerie on the table. Huh? He smirks slyly, thinking, heh, she must have just gone downstairs to buy something. I'll just wait for her a bit. As he speaks, he deeply inhales the scent from her panties. He thinks, I'll give her a big surprise later. Du Bang lies on the bed, daydreaming with a goofy grin on his face. Suddenly, a girl's voice rings out. Oh my, you're so naughty. Hearing that, Du Bang freezes. Isn't that his girlfriend's voice? Chapter 2. Du Bang kicks the door open and storms out. From another room, sounds that would make anyone blush can be heard. Hearing those noises, Du Bang tries to calm himself down. Easy now, calm down. It's probably not her. It would be awkward if I'm wrong. He decides to check just in case. Pressing his ear to the door, he hears, "Ah, you're so bad." Inside, a sleazy-looking man asks, "Are you satisfied now?" The woman replies, "Humph, you jerk." She says regretfully, "I have to go back. Du Bang might be here any minute." Hearing that, the man sighs. "If my old man wasn't eyeing Du Bang's software, I'd never let you mess with him in the first place." She then reassures him, "Don't worry, I never even let him touch me." She promises him that once she tricks Du Bang out of his software, she'll come right back to him. The man replies, "Yeah, get going." After getting dressed, she tells the man, "Honey, I'm leaving now." The moment she opens the door, she's shocked to see Du Bang standing right there. She screams. Seeing the scene before him, Du Bang trembles with rage. He spits out, "You too." Seeing him like this, she panics and backs away, asking, "What are you going to do?" Du Bang then lunges at the other guy. He lands a heavy punch to the man's face, making him spit blood. The girl rushes forward, screaming at Du Bang, "What are you doing?" She quickly runs to the other guy's side. "Honey, are you okay? Should I call an ambulance?" Du Bang then coldly calls out her name, Thunya. He asks, "Were you playing me from the start?" With a furious and spiteful expression, she snaps, "Yes." Chapter 3. Du Bang roars in anger. Why? Thunya continues, "Why don't you take a look at yourself? A broke student who can't even afford extra beef in his noodle soup. How could I possibly fall for someone like you?" Hearing this, Du Bang says, You said you'd wait for me. As soon as my software gets launched, I'll have money." But Thunya just says coldly, "I'll admit, you have a little talent, but you're not the only one who can get that software running." Just then, the other guy recovers, yelling angrily, "Damn it." Du Bang continues, "So from the very beginning, you were only after my software." Thunya admits it. "That's right." The other guy then yells angrily, "You little punk, you dare hit me? You got a death wish?" Thunya continues to berate him. "You've injured young Master Dai. You can just hand over your software to pay for his medical bills." Hearing her, Du Bang turns away in disgust and snaps, "In your dreams." Then he immediately storms off. The scene cuts to Du Bang's tiny apartment, where he's frantically packing his things into a backpack, preparing to flee. But as soon as he opens the door, 2 huge men in black suits block his path. Turns out, they're Thunya and young Master D's men. The man shouts, "You think you can run after hitting me?" He then orders his goons, "Get him!" Du Bang is then beaten so badly, he falls unconscious. The man walks over with Thunya, picks up Du Bang's laptop, and smirks. "I'll be taking this then. You just sleep tight. I'll get rich in your place." With that, he leaves with Thunya, leaving Du Bang motionless on the floor. Chapter 4. A bright light flashes, and Du Bang slowly wakes up. He finds himself in a strange dimension and wonders, where am I? Am I dead? Suddenly, A sound by his ear startles him. Dubang looks and spots a tiny pixie sitting cross-legged on a keyboard. She asks, "Are you the one who summoned me? Am I awake?" Dubang saw her tiny form and hesitantly asked, "Who are you?" The little sprite chirped back, "My name is Xiao. Welcome to the super keyboard's dimension." Dubang was baffled by her words. He repeated skeptically, "The super keyboard's dimension?" Xiao pointed to a replay of Dubang getting knocked out, explaining, "In other words, that keyboard under your head is the super keyboard. To put it in your human terms, it's a divine artifact." Dubang was still skeptical about this godly keyboard. He recalled the moment he first found it. He'd even praised it. "Whoa, a nice keyboard like this out here? I've got to take this home." Dubang pondered and asked, "Xiao, for confirmation? You're saying this keyboard is a divine artifact?" Xiao struck a pose, replying confidently, "That's right, I'm the artifact's spirit, Xiao. You're the one who woke me up, so now I'm stuck with you." Hearing this, Dubang picked up the keyboard with a blank face and asked, "If you're saying this keyboard is a divine artifact, then what the hell does it do?" Xiao crossed her legs with a mysterious look. "Oh, it's incredibly powerful. You've already activated the super keyboard and unlocked its first function." As she spoke, the letter A slowly materialized on her belly. Dubang, still totally lost, asked, "The first function? What's that?" Xiao continued to explain, "Every single key on the super keyboard grants you an ability, and the one you just unlocked is the function of the A key." The A on her stomach lit up as a system notification popped up. Acute. Pressing the A key grants the user tenfold perception for 5 minutes. Your hearing, smell, sight, taste, and more will all be massively boosted. Cooldown, 3 hours. After reading this, Dubang's jaw hit the floor. He yelled in disbelief, "My perception increases tenfold?" Chapter 5. After finishing her explanation, Xiao said her goodbyes. "All right, if you need anything else, just call for me." As she finished speaking, Dubang's eyes shot open. He scrambled to sit up and felt his forehead. Whoa, the wound is gone. Dubang looked at his hand, wondering, was that all a dream? But he didn't have to wonder for long. Right after he said that, the keyboard in front of him began to glow. A beam of purple light shot out and turned into Xiao, who declared, "You can now use the super keyboard." The sight startled him but erased all his doubts. Whoa, so it wasn't a dream. Xiao hovered over the keyboard, urging him to try it out. Dubang was still nervous. He gulped and slowly picked it up. Xiao flew onto his shoulder and leaned against him, looking expectant. On the keyboard, only the A key glowed with a magical light. Seeing him hesitate, she pushed, "Come on, press the A key and try it." Dubang reached out and pressed A. A notification chimed. Super keyboard activated. Dubang's body was instantly enveloped in a purple aura. Both he and the keyboard began to float. He could feel his senses sharpening rapidly. Xiao repeated the effect. For the next 5 minutes, your perception will be boosted tenfold. Dubang's pupils constricted as he glanced at the building across the street. He could see a young couple getting frisky in their room with perfect clarity. He could even hear their intimate moans and sighs. He couldn't help but blush, thinking, "Holy crap, I can even hear them." His face darkened for a second. This ability is insane. But after a brief pause, a wicked grin spread across his face. This is awesome. Chapter 6. Dubang was on cloud 9, letting out a pervy chuckle. He was still watching the couple go at it as the girl started taking off her top. But suddenly, a ding-dong from his doorbell pierced his ears. With his hearing amplified tenfold, the sound felt like a punch. Dubang was completely stunned. He covered his ears, thinking, "My hearing's 10 times stronger. Am I gonna go deaf?" Xiao reassured him, "Don't worry. It's just your hearing that's amplified, not the actual sound itself. Your ears won't be damaged." Just then, a loud banging started on his apartment door. Asterisk, bam, bam, asterisk. Then a voice from outside yelled, "You little brat, open this door right now." Dubang walked over to the door, calling out, "Coming, I'm coming." When he opened it, his landlady was standing there. The second she saw him, she started yelling, "You rotten kid, it's time to pay your rent." Faced with his landlady's demands, Dubang clasped his hands together and begged, "Ma'am, please just give me 2 more days. I haven't gotten my intern paycheck yet." He pleaded, "I'm begging you." The landlady let it slide, but shot him a dirty look. As she walked away, she yelled, "2 days, that's it. If you don't pay by then, you can get the hell out." With that over, Dubang closed the door and sighed. "Damn it, I gave all my money to that woman. Now I can't even afford rent. He walked over to the window and sighed again. Oh well, I'll just enjoy this for now and worry about it later. However, when he looked back to the couple's window, he realized he couldn't see anything clearly anymore. It was all a blur. Dubang was confused. What happened? Xiaoqi, on his shoulder, spoke up. Reminder, 5 minutes are up. Your A key is on cooldown for another 3 hours. Dubang sighed again, looking dejected. This power isn't gonna help me make any money, he told Xiaoqi. But just then, his expression brightened. An idea had just popped into his head. He remembered those scumbags and their evil smirks. With this power, I can finally get some dirt on them. Thinking this, Dubang's eyes hardened with resolve. He declared, Xia Ya Chu, I swear I'll make you pay for this betrayal. Chapter 7. Dubang stood on the rooftop, staring into the distance. He muttered, that punk defeng must live around here. Flying beside him, Xiaoqi asked, what are you planning to do? Dubang immediately jumped. Shh, he hissed, putting a finger to his lips. I'm in the middle of something important. Keep quiet. Xiaoqi pouted, annoyed. It's just revenge, isn't it? Her comment made Dubang flinch. You can read minds? Xiaoqi recalled seeing him get beaten up. No, I was inside the keyboard and I saw you get beaten to a pulp. Her words just made him angrier. He lunged for her. If you already know that, then you should really keep your mouth shut. This is a big deal to me. That bastard stole something I poured over half a year of my life into. But Xiaoqi easily zipped out of his reach. If you want revenge, I can help you, she called down. Dubang stared up, stunned. For real? How are you gonna help me? With her hands on her hips, Xiaoqi said confidently, if you unlock all the functions of the super keyboard, you'll become incredibly powerful. Getting revenge will be a piece of cake. A light bulb went off in Dubang's head, and he pressed for more details. Oh yeah, I meant to ask, how do I unlock the rest of the abilities? Xiaoqi replied instantly, missions. You just have to complete missions to earn a certain amount of justice points. You use those justice points to unlock the other functions. For example, activating the B key's ability costs 30 justice points. Dubang was still confused. What are justice points? Xiaoqi waved her hand, and a status screen appeared right in front of him. Seeing his blank stare, she explained, justice points are like currency in the human world. You can use them to trade with me. Earning them is super simple. You just have to complete the missions I give out. The wind began to howl. Dubang finally got it and sighed. Well, damn. It's just a mission, right? Tell me, what do I have to do? As he spoke, the wind blew even harder. In a nearby apartment, a pair of panties was blown right off a clothes hanger. At that exact moment, a mission popped up on the screen. Daily mission. Retrieve the panties blown away by the wind. Just as he finished reading, those very panties fluttered in front of his face. He turned to Xiaoqi and snapped, what the hell kind of mission is this? But Xiaoqi just looked at him with a mischievous grin. Chapter 8. With a wicked smile, she urged, you'd better get a move on. The number of daily missions is limited. If you want enough justice points, you have to seize every single opportunity. Hearing that, Dubang, reluctantly, set off immediately. He scrambled down the stairs to where the panties had landed. Blushing furiously, he timidly reached up to pull the panties from a tree branch, telling himself, I'm just doing a mission. I'm not a pervert. I am not a pervert. After grabbing them, he climbed up to the balcony of the owner's apartment. Dubang turned to Xiaoqi and asked dryly, I just have to hang this up, right? Xiaoqi confidently confirmed, that's right. Hang it up, and the mission's complete. With a trembling hand, Dubang reached out to hang it. Suddenly, from inside the room, a girl fresh out of the shower saw him. Without a second thought, she grabbed a broom and started screaming. Ah, panty thief, it's a pervert. In a panic, Dubang scrambled upwards as the girl below continued to furiously yell, you damn pervert. Finally, he made it back to the rooftop, his heart pounding as he gasped for breath. Afterwards, he asked doubtfully, are these missions even legit? With one hand on her hip, Xiaoqi snapped her fingers and said, of course they are. Look, the notification panel lit up. 2 points acquired. Dubang stared blankly at the message. The B key needs 30 points. Does that mean I have to do 14 more missions like that? But Xiaoqi just looked mysterious, giggling, as she said, not every mission is worth 2 justice points, you know. The reward increases with the mission's difficulty. As she spoke, Dubang suddenly glanced aside. He'd spotted that bastard. A sinister look crept into Dubang's eyes. He thought, you finally showed your face. I'm definitely getting proof of what you scumbags have been up to. He let out a wicked laugh, pulled out the keyboard, and pressed the A key. The key's ability activated, enhancing his hearing. The very first sound that reached his ears made him jump in surprise. They're going to kill her? Chapter 9. With his hearing boosted tenfold, Du Bang picked up the sound of someone talking about murder. He wondered where the voice was coming from. Even with his vision enhanced 10 times, he scanned the area. First, he saw a guy in a towel sipping wine, sighing, "Ah, this is the life." Du Bang knew that wasn't it, and looked away. Next was the blonde girl, whose underwear he'd picked up earlier, now holding a broom and cursing. Where is that damn pervert? Nope, not her either. Finally, Du Bang pinpointed the source. He focused his senses, zooming in on a room in the building across the way. Inside, a bald man with a scar was talking to a blonde man. The bald guy said, "Liu Vu is Liu Qison's daughter, after all. The heiress of the Liu Son group. Killing her directly seems risky." Hearing this, Du Bang remembered the Liu Son group ranked even higher than the black market. He realized they were planning to kill the Liu Son group's heiress, but who the hell were they? The blonde man took a sip of wine and smirked sinisterly. He arrogantly told the bald guy, "Don't worry. Soon, this city will belong to the Hong Nha Ban gang. A mere Liu Vu is nothing." But the bald guy was still hesitant. "Liu Vu has a bodyguard." Unfazed, the blonde man tossed a suitcase to him. "With this little toy, I'm sure you can take her out, no matter who's protecting her." The bald guy caught it, but froze the moment he opened the case. His eyes widened in shock. Inside was a handgun. Seeing his reaction, the blonde man sneered. "What's wrong? Don't you like it? Didn't you used to play with these things?" The bald guy's face lit up instantly. No, it's not that." He called the blonde man Brother Toothap, explaining he was just thrilled. Hearing this, Toothap gave the order, "Liu Vu's birthday party is tomorrow night. Make your move." The bald guy smirked coldly. "Got it." Toothap's expression turned menacing. "Liu Qi-sun, we're starting with your daughter." The keywords flashed through Du Bang's mind. Assassin, real gun, birthday party. Seeing Du Bang frozen, Toothap asked, "What's wrong?" But he didn't answer her. Instead, he blurted out, "I can't let this happen." Little did Du Bang know, this one decision would drag him into an unimaginable and massive storm. Chapter 10. Du Bang stood before the Liu Son group's mansion, amazed. Damn, the Liu Son group is loaded. But then a huge problem hit him. How the hell do I get in? Tio, that whispered to him. "Are you planning to steal underwear again?" Feeling provoked, Du Bang yelled, "I'm not a pervert." Tio, that put her hands on her hips. "Then what are you doing here?" Du Bang struck a pose and declared, "I'm here to save a beautiful damsel in distress." Hearing that, Tio, that just called his name. He asked, "What?" With a deadpan expression, she said, "You're an idiot." Annoyed, Du Bang told her to shut up. He then circled the property looking for a way in and finally found a spot to climb over. But the moment he landed, he came face to face with a small puppy. He tried to shush it, but failed miserably. The puppy started barking its head off. Realizing he was screwed, Du Bang made a run for it. A little later, inside a room, Du Bang handed the dog a bone. The puppy quieted down and gnawed on it. Du Bang smirked. Trying to take me on?" Then, he spotted a chef's uniform hanging nearby. He put it on and disguised himself as a kitchen assistant, pushing a food cart. Faced with the mansion's sheer luxury, he was completely blown away. "Holy crap, this place is amazing," a voice urged. "Everyone, hurry up." Du Bang looked over and saw a gorgeous girl with purple hair. His heart pounded as he gulped. He thought to himself, "So that's Liu Vu. She's beautiful." Chapter 11. The purple-haired girl glanced over, spotted Du Bang, and called out, "Hey you, over there, wait a sec." Startled from his staring, Du Bang panicked. "She already saw me? Should I just tell her someone wants to kill her? What if she thinks I'm crazy and throws me out?" While he was lost in thought, the girl got closer, calling out with a smile. "Excuse me." Du Bang stood with his back to her, heart racing. Just then, she asked, "Could you go down to the cellar and grab a few bottles of wine for me?" Du Bang stammered, "Me?" The girl's attitude instantly flipped. She crossed her arms and snapped angrily. "What are you standing there like an idiot for? Hurry up, the guests are almost here." At that, Du Bang scrambled off immediately. She watched him go, thinking, what's with that clueless chef? Meanwhile, Du Bang found a quiet spot and scratched his chin. "She told me to go to the cellar, but I have no idea where it is." Suddenly, he noticed a wooden hatch on the ground, camouflaged with leaves. "This must be it," he thought. He rushed over and lifted it. Just as he suspected, there was a tunnel underneath. Du Bang went down to check it out, but when he followed the tunnel, he didn't end up in a wine cellar. He ended up in a park. Panting, Du Bang said, "Where's the wine? Why am I in a park?" Tio, that appeared and scolded him. Are you an idiot? A wine cellar would obviously be inside the house, she added with disgust. And this place is so dirty. Dubang realized how dumb he'd been and scratched his head sheepishly. Oh, right. So this is just a passageway. Tew, that added, yeah, and it looks like it was just recently dug. Dubang then crawled back in to return. Seriously, I don't get rich people. Why dig a tunnel when there's a door? Heading back, he sealed the passage and brushed off the sand. He muttered, if I'd known about this shortcut, I wouldn't have had to climb that wall. Suddenly, Dubang realized something. Wait, could this be? Dubang froze. Did they dig this tunnel? He immediately took off running. Crap, I gotta warn Liao Vu. If they get in, it'll be a disaster. Liao Vu saw him panting. Huh? What are you doing here? Didn't I tell you to get the wine? Dubang stammered. Well, it's like this. He thought, crap, how do I even tell her? She'll think I'm a lunatic and fire me. Maybe I should check it out first? Seeing him, Liao Vu sighed. You're new, aren't you? Don't know where the wine cellar is? Dubang gave an awkward laugh, scratching his head. Yeah, I have no idea how to get there. Liao Vu sighed again. Seriously, why didn't the head chef tell you new guys this sooner? Fine, follow me. From behind, Dubang eyed Liao Vu's fair back, practically drooling. He thought, what a bod. No way I'm letting a bombshell like her die senselessly. When they arrived, Liao Vu said, this is it. This is it. Then she urged him, hurry up, the guests are almost here. He went down. Got it, I'll be right out. As he worked, he thought, did they really dig that tunnel? They're really trying to kill Liao Vu. If they have guns, I can't even stop them. What now? Suddenly, it hit him. Right, the super keyboard. If I activate key A, will I be able to use my 10 times boosted senses to help Liao Vu dodge bullets? Suddenly, someone came down the stairs. Dubang heard footsteps and whipped his head around. Someone's here. A chef with a nasty scar above his eye gruffly said, hey, where's the Lafitte? I'm new. Dubang's heart pounded. He recognized that voice instantly. It was the assassin. Seeing Dubang didn't answer, he glared. Hey, I'm asking you, Dubang nervously forced a nervous laugh. I'm new too. You'll have to find it yourself. The guy instantly turned away. Once he was gone, Dubang breathed a sigh of relief. No doubt about it. That was the assassin. He wondered, when did he sneak in? Not through that tunnel. Did he? Suddenly a new mission flashed on the system. Prevent the assassination. Then Little Seven popped up. Whoa. You unlocked a hidden quest already? That was fast. Dubang asked. How's a hidden quest different from a daily one? Little Seven replied. Daily quests are preset. You just find the target according to the mission. Hidden quests, though, only unlock in certain situations, and their rewards are way bigger than daily quests. After Little Seven's explanation, Dubang said, ah, I see. Then he thought, it unlocked because I want to save Liao Vu, right? But even without a quest, I'd still save her anyway. Dubang brought the wine up. Wine's here. Liao Vu pointed to a spot and said, put it there. Dubang thought, no way I'm letting a beauty like her die just like that. The chef from earlier also came up. From below, he thought, damn, I thought I'd been caught. Seeing Dubang, he thought, that kid's new too. Lucky me. Behind Liao Vu, he hid behind a wall. He thought, should I wait till night? Nah, fewer people now, it'll be easier. But then, he suddenly widened his eyes. A tall, blue-haired guy walked past Dubang, then yelled, why have I never seen you before? The shout startled Dubang. Well, it's like. Then Liao Vu said, oh, Dongfeng, don't be so suspicious. He's new. Dongfeng relaxed. All right. Dubang just stood there, giving a wry smile. Then Dongfeng told Liao Vu, Miss, all the invitations have been sent. Liao Vu smiled. That's a lot of work. Thank you. Then she told Dongfeng, you help get some wine too. We have a ton of guests today, so we gotta treat them right. Dongfeng nodded. Then she turned and waved at Dubang. Hey you, don't go anywhere, she said. You come here and help too. Go back down to the wine cellar and grab more bottles. Dubang, seeing her gesture, thought, again? He walked over. Dongfeng looked at him. You follow me. The two walked past the assassin. In his hand was Dongfeng's profile. That's how he learned. Dongfeng was the bodyguard. Looks like I gotta take care of this kid first, he muttered. Meanwhile, Dubang was thinking, should I tell him about the assassin? Wait, the assassin's in the wine cellar too. If they run into each other, I can just scream and stop them, right? After a while, Dongfeng stopped and called out, speak up. Who exactly are you? Dubang was stunned. Crap, he found me out. He nervously thought, what do I do? Should I tell him the truth? What do I do? What do I do? He was trembling. Then a loud shout rang out, don't move. Du Bang and Dong Feng flinched. The assassin aimed his gun straight at Dong Feng's head, a triumphant smirk on his face. Dong Feng turned. Who are you? The assassin smirked. I don't think you need to know. With that, he slammed his elbow into Dong Feng's neck, yelling, go to hell. Dong Feng collapsed, and the assassin smiled. With a smirk, he turned to Du Bang and said, since you saw everything, you can die with him. Hearing that, Du Bang nervously thought, I'll have to rely on the keyboard. He then said, Little Seven, I need the keyboard. A keyboard materialized before him, and his eyes flashed purple. The assassin's movements seemed to slow to a crawl as he threw a punch, but its speed was pathetic. Du Bang thought, too slow. I can dodge this. Then he easily sidestepped it. The hitman was stunned. This kid actually dodged it? He's got some skills. Du Bang then snatched a fruit fork and hurled it straight at the assassin. In that instant, he bolted. The hitman roared, you damn brat. As he ran, Du Bang panted, crap. He's going for the kill, and I've already used the keyboard's power. I have to warn Liao Yu, just as Liao Yu saw him. Running back? She asked. That was fast. You're back already? Right behind him was the assassin, gun in hand. Du Bang screamed, run, someone's trying to kill you. Liao Yu was shocked, but before she could react, a gunshot rang out. Bang. Chapter 16. The assassin aimed his gun right at Liao Yu and fired a powerful round. But thanks to Little Seven's god-tier keyboard, Du Bang moved with unbelievable speed, grabbing Liao Yu to dodge the bullet. The round zipped past them, shattering a wine bottle on the table. The assassin flashed a sinister grin. He raised his gun for another shot. Seeing things go south, the assistant chef bailed, leaving Du Bang and Liao Yu behind. The scene erupted into chaos as people screamed and ran for their lives, but the assassin was still on the hunt. Du Bang quickly pulled Liao Yu under a table for cover. Amidst the chaos, she finally woke up from her daze. Seeing her eyes open, he asked, are you okay? Are you hurt? He then peeked out to check the situation. She said she was fine, but Du Bang was worried. The keyboard's effect was about to run out, and he was cornered. Suddenly, the party cake slid under their table. An idea sparked. He grabbed the cake tray, hearing a noise. From under the table, the assassin came to investigate. The footsteps got closer and closer. He lifted the tablecloth and... wham! Du Bang shoved the entire cake right into his face. Blinded, the hitman heard them running and started firing wildly in every direction. The two used the distraction to dodge the bullets and find a new hiding spot. The assassin was furious. After wiping the cake from his face, he scanned the area, but only found the assistant chef pissing his pants in fear. Realizing he'd turned the party into a war zone, the hitman decided it was time to leave. Once the coast was clear, Du Bang let out a sigh of relief. Are you all right? Liao Yu asked, handing him a handkerchief. He thanked her, but was caught off guard when Liao Yu said she knew he wasn't the real assistant chef. She demanded to know his true identity. Faced with her questions, Du Bang was at a loss for words. Chapter 17. With Liao Yu realizing something was off, Du Bang panicked. He didn't know how to explain, but she urged him to be honest, saying she could feel that he wasn't a bad person. Besides, he'd just saved her life, so she just wanted the truth. She promised she wouldn't cause him any trouble. Seeing how reasonable she was, he finally relaxed. He decided to tell her everything. Actually, yesterday I overheard someone plotting to murder you, so I came here to confirm it. Du Bang then recounted the whole story from the beginning, obviously leaving out the part about Little Seven's god-tier keyboard. As she listened, she clapped, impressed. When he finished, Liao Yu nodded, putting the pieces together. Then she asked, do you know who they are? But Du Bang admitted he wasn't sure. He'd only overheard them by chance. But when the assassin showed up, I recognized his voice. Hearing this, Liao Yu told him not to worry and thanked him for the crucial information. But something was off. She'd seen the bodyguard Dong Feng with Du Bang earlier, but now he was gone. Liao Yu turned to him. Where's Dong Feng? Hearing the name, Du Bang thought for a moment. Then it clicked. You mean that bodyguard, Dong Feng? When she nodded, he led her to where it all began. There, she was horrified to find Dong Feng unconscious on the floor. She rushed over to help him up. Is he okay? She asked. Dong Feng, still dazed from the assassin's cheap shot, slowly opened his eyes. Seeing Miss Liao Yu and Du Bang, he grabbed her protectively. Are you all right? Did that hitman hurt you? That guy was a murderer, she told him. You're holding me too tight, she explained. She was fine, thanks to the quick thinking of the assistant chef, Du Bang. Then she added that the hitman got away. Hearing this, the bodyguard glared at Du Bang, his eyes filled with killing intent. How long ago did he leave? He demanded. Dubang trembled. He just left. About 3 minutes ago. Furious that he couldn't get his payback, Dongfeng. He told Miss Liao Yu he was going to hunt down the assassin, but just as she yelled for him to wait, Dongfeng had already bolted out, leaving Dubang and Liao Yu alone. Dubang then remarked, "Damn, now that's a dedicated bodyguard." But Liao Yu just sighed, calling Dongfeng too reckless since they didn't even know who the enemy was, and he just took off. Still, since she owed him another favor, she turned to Dubang with a smile. "Thank you again for saving me." Liao Yu then said she had to tell her father about the incident. She told him to get some rest, and left to find her dad. Just then, a light flashed in front of Dubang. Turns out, the system announced he'd completed a hidden quest. He received 30 righteousness points. Seeing this, Dubang was ecstatic about the huge reward. Chapter 18. Meanwhile, outside the banquet, at gate number 18, the assassin had also escaped. He started adjusting his collar, absolutely fuming. He cursed Dubang for ruining his plan. As he undid a button, he was suddenly surprised by the presence of the bodyguard, Dongfeng. The wind howled as leaves rustled. Spotting his target, Dongfeng ripped off his tie and wrapped it around his hand, ready for a brawl. Seeing that murderous glare, the assassin smirked. "You really live up to your name, Li. Dongfeng, the Sanda fighting champion." He continued, "To take a blow like that from me and still chase me all the way here." He flashed a sinister grin, but Dongfeng didn't care for the flattery. He immediately interrogated him, demanding to know who he was and why he wanted to kill Miss Liao Yu. Hearing this, the assassin laughed. "Dead men don't need answers." And with that, he whipped out his gun and cocked it. The moment he fired the first shot, Dongfeng saw the bullet's path and dodged to the side, charging straight for the killer. Their eyes locked. The assassin grinned. "Now, this is getting interesting." He tossed his gun aside, deciding to go hand to hand. He was accepting the challenge. Both men raised their fists, ready to smash each other's faces. The sound of brutal impacts began to echo. This was going to be a long fight. Meanwhile, back in Xiaoqi's system space, Dubang and Xiaoqi were discussing the hidden quest. After he received the 30 righteousness points, a treasure chest suddenly materialized. This was his extra reward for completing the hidden quest, a red-grade mystic treasure chest. Dubang was confused and asked Xiaoqi what this was. She explained it was a bonus reward for finishing hidden quests. Depending on the difficulty, she added, the chest could contain treasures of varying rarity, even items this world has never seen before. Hearing this, Dubang got the picture, but he was still curious about the red color. She then explained that red is the lowest of 7 tiers for treasure chests. The higher the tier, the more items you get, and the better the quality. Amazed by this, Dubang urged her to open it, but she said you need a key to do that. She then said that he could get keys by completing quests or by buying them with righteousness points. Seeing this, he was conflicted. 30 points could unlock the B key skill, but a key cost an extra 5 points. Since he was short, he prioritized activating the B key. Seeing his resolve, she confirmed his choice. He nodded, and a beam of light shot from Xiaoqi's finger. She drew the letter B in the air. The system deducted 30 righteousness points from his account. The B rune was complete. She then pushed it into the keyboard. Suddenly, on Dubang's divine keyboard, a new hotkey lit up the letter B. He had unlocked the brawny skill, meaning his body would become incredibly tough. Was he planning to go help Dongfeng? Chapter 19. A flash of information shot into Dubang's head. A notification panel appeared. Pressing B grants the user immense power for 3 minutes, massively increasing their combat strength. Cooldown, 1 hour. Dubang could feel his body changing. Xiaoqi said his current combat power was now on par with an elite soldier king, but it only lasted for 3 minutes. To increase the duration, he'd need 20 points for an upgrade. He realized he needed to grind more quests to earn points. But first, he had to test the power of this B key, and with that, Dubang dashed outside and stopped by a large tree. In a single leap, Dubang was at the top. He thought, if I had this B key earlier, that assassin would have been toast. While up in the tree, Dubang heard Liao Yu calling for him. He instantly flash-stepped right behind her, startling her. "Don't sneak up on me like that," Liao Yu shouted angrily. She then warned him that her father was going to question him about the assassin. "Just tell him the truth," she said. Hearing this, he panicked. "Your father? You mean the CEO of Liao Shan Group, Liao Qishan?" An hour later, he was brought into a luxurious room. An old man sat on a chair, surrounded by 5 incredibly fierce-looking bodyguards. The man asked, "Is everything you said true?" He replied, "It's all true." But the man didn't believe him and ordered his guards to seize him. Chapter 20. Liao Yu panicked, having no idea what was going on, as two vicious bodyguards. As he approached, Liu Yu frantically tried to stop her father. She said, "He's not a bad guy." But he just sneered. "Not a bad guy? Then why sneak into our villa to get close to you?" He figured he was with the assassins, who were trying to kill you. He then ordered his two bodyguards to seize him. Hearing the order, the two guards charged right at him. With no other choice, he activated the B key and kicked one guard so hard in the gut he gagged. The other one threw a punch, but he dodged it and kneed the guy square in the mouth. Then he flash-stepped right in front of the old man. He planted his foot on a chair. "If I wanted to kill your daughter, it wouldn't take this much effort," he said. "If you people don't believe me, then my apologies." And with that, he left. Seeing this, the old man shouted, "Wait!" Annoyed, he asked, "What is it, Mr. Liao? Is there something you need?" Suddenly, a servant rushed in yelling, "Miss, it's terrible." Li Dongfeng was seriously injured. Hearing this, she completely panicked. Chapter 21. Cut to the hospital. Liu Yu and Du Bong are waiting outside the emergency room. She's so worried, she bursts into tears. Liao Qishan comforts his daughter. "Don't worry, Dongfeng is tough. He'll be okay." He patted her head and continued, "As for that assassin, I've already sent people to investigate. Whoever dared to hurt my daughter, I won't forgive them." Then, the emergency room light went off. Seeing the doctor come out, Liu Yu rushed to ask, "Doctor, how is he? How's Dongfeng?" The doctor removed his mask and said, "The situation is not optimistic. He'll live, but he'll be bedridden for more than half a year." Hearing this, Liao Qishan thanked the doctor, then stroked his chin and said, "Even Dongfeng lost to him. This guy's no small fry." Liu Yu said he had a gun, and her father said worriedly, "For now, don't leave the house. I'll find you a bodyguard." He suddenly looked over at Du Bong, who was just standing there whistling. Then he said, "Young man, come here." When he walked over, he asked, "Is there a problem?" The old man then asked if he wanted to be a bodyguard for his daughter. Seeing his confused look, he continued, "You're pretty skilled. I'll pay you 30,000 a month to protect my daughter." Hearing that huge sum, he immediately agreed with a smile. Chapter 22. Night falls at the mansion. Liu Yu prepares a luxurious room for Du Bang to sleep in. Du Bang was shocked. He never knew being a bodyguard meant getting free room and board. Liu Yu then said, "A bodyguard needs to be close by, so of course you'll stay here." Du Bang sat on the bed and thanked Liu Yu. She told him to call her whatever, and she would call him Bang, saying that calling him brother would be too weird. Hearing this, the nerdy Du Bang scratched his head shyly. "Whatever makes you happy." After everything was arranged, there was nothing else to do, so Liu Yu left. After she was gone, Du Bang flopped onto the soft bed. He thought, this gig ain't bad at all. 2 months of this, and he'd have enough money for his software research. That's when Xiao Qi popped out. "Du Bang, you've hit the big time," it said. "This place is way better than your old kennel." Du Bang got pissed and shooed away. My place was not a kennel. Then, Du Bang remembered he had to ask for an advance on his salary tomorrow to pay his rent. Just then, Xiao Qi pointed outside and called to him. Du Bang asked, "What is it?" Then, Xiao Qi slyly told him a secret. "You can see Liu Yu's room from here." Immediately, Du Bang imagined Liu Yu wearing her pajamas, his heart pounding. He didn't hesitate, smashing his face against the window to look, but he couldn't see a thing. Seeing this, Xiao Qi called him a perv in disappointment. Feeling guilty, Du Bang told it to shut up. Suddenly, he saw the cave from earlier. Just then, the cave entrance opened, and Du Bang saw someone inside. Chapter 23. The cave entrance opened, and the person inside was a pretty girl. She crawled out with a sinister smile and snuck into the house. Du Bang, watching from his window, watched her. He thought, a female assassin? She doesn't look like one. I better go check this out. Hiding behind a wall, he watched the uninvited guest sneak into the kitchen. So, she's just a food thief, he realized. She quietly opened the kitchen door. It seemed she was very familiar with the Liao family kitchen. Looking at the food before her, she smiled happily. I hit the jackpot today. There's so much food, she said. Du Bang, hiding outside, was secretly watching her pack everything into a bag. He was about to bust her when she ran out and slammed right into him. Then she kneed him, knocking him to the ground. Damn, he thought. How is she so fast? Du Bang immediately pulled out his super keyboard and hit the B key. He couldn't let her escape. Du Bang was instantly buffed with power. He chased after her, determined to teach this girl a lesson. Chapter 24. As she was about to climb down the cave to escape, Du Bang caught up. He grabbed her shoulder and said, "Kicking me for no reason isn't very nice." She was startled. She couldn't believe he'd caught up to her. She pulled her arm away, saying she was just helping these rich people get rid of their wasted food. Du Bang didn't believe her and grabbed the bag. Seeing this, she angrily yelled, "What are you doing?" When he opened her bag, he saw it was full of food that was about to be thrown away. He figured she was just a food thief, so he could let her go. But just as Du Bang was about to let his guard down, she spotted an opening. She landed a swift kick right in his gut, making him collapse in pain. "Damn it," he thought. "Why the stomach? That hurts like hell." And just like that, she leaped into a tunnel and escaped. Left clutching his stomach in agony, Du Bang was now dead set on catching her. Du Bang dove into the tunnel after her. Looking around, he wondered where she could have gone. Then, he spotted the thief's footprints. "Humph. Let's see you run now," he thought. Meanwhile, in the slums, the girl was happily skipping her way home. As she approached a small shack, the children inside saw her and erupted in cheers. "Big sis, you're back." She told them she'd found some tasty food and urged them to eat up. Du Bang watched from the shadows, putting it all together. So, she was stealing from the Liao family to feed these kids. How pitiful. Oh well, as long as she doesn't do anything to harm Liao Yu, it's fine. He decided to forgive her for that kick. Just then, the system pinged with a new mission. Mission: win over Ranwan Yue. Chapter 25. He thought, Ranwan Yue. Is that this girl's name? But to win her over, does that mean we're supposed to fall in love or something? The thought of them as a couple made Du Bang blush furiously. He quickly shook his head, trying to dismiss the idea. Du Bang told himself to snap out of it. What was he even thinking? Blushing, he opened the system to check the mission details. Description: help her solve her problems. Reward: justice points and an additional key. After reading it, he was confused. Solve her problems? What kind of crappy mission is this? Still, the reward wasn't bad. He immediately guessed the key must be for opening a treasure chest. He remembered Xiao Qi telling him there were special missions he had to discover on his own. The rewards for those were supposed to be way better. What on earth could be in that treasure chest? Du Bang wondered. Watching her with her siblings, he realized that despite being fierce, she was actually a kind person. Inside, the two kids were devouring the food. Wan Yue gently patted her little sister's head, telling her to eat slowly. Don't choke. Outside, a smile crept onto Du Bang's face as he accepted the mission. Just then, footsteps approached. Wan Yue sensed someone. It was Du Bang, standing at their door, holding 2 bags of food. Seeing him, Wan Yue instantly jumped in front of the kids, demanding to know what he wanted. Du Bang simply dropped the 2 bags of food in front of her. His action left her completely stunned. What is this? He replied, it's for the kids. He then told her she could still come by in the future, but to not get caught. Stunned by his sudden change of heart, Wan Yue watched him leave. A small smile appeared on her lips as she thought, he's a good person after all. She brought the 2 bags of food back to her younger siblings. Finally, they had plenty to eat. She urged the kids to quickly take some to Xiaoxue, and they immediately obeyed. Meanwhile, outside, Du Bang was confused about why the mission hadn't been completed yet. Could it be that her biggest problem isn't finding food for the kids? Chapter 26. Back home, Du Bang wondered what the girl's real problem was. He realized he'd have to find a way to get closer to her. Exhausted, Du Bang flopped onto his bed and opened the system. He was eager to complete the mission and see what was in that treasure chest. The light from the system panel illuminated his face. He turned to ask Xiao Qi a question, and she replied, What do you want? Du Bang asked her if it was possible to accept another mission while one was already active. Xiao Qi confirmed that it was. Isn't there a mission tab in the top left corner? Du Bang couldn't believe Xiao Qi had hidden this from him. When he heard that, he exploded. Why didn't you tell me sooner? His shout sent Xiao Qi flying backward. She shot back angrily. You never asked. After that, Du Bang turned to the screen and tapped the mission tab. A list of today's missions appeared. As he scrolled through them, he suddenly blushed and said, What the heck is this? He randomly tapped on the first mission. The shocking title caught his eye. Female college grad stays locked in her room after graduation. This clickbait title intrigued him. He tapped on it, only to find the mission was to help a female student move, just 1 kilometer away, which caught Du Bang's attention. Chapter 27. Xiao Qi looked at the screen and said, If it pops up on its own, it means only you can. Accept this mission. Du Bang tapped the mission, and the words Massage Liao Yu appeared on the screen. An image of Du Bang. Needing Liao Yu's perfect skin flashed in his mind. The thought immediately triggered a nosebleed, his heart pounding. Like a drum, he said, "This mission?" Xiao Qi asked from the side. "What about it?" Wiping the blood from his nose, Du Bang grinned wickedly. Heh, this is just too good. Without hesitation, Du Bang slammed the confirm button on the notification panel. He bolted out of the room, singing as he went, "I want to become the angel in your favorite fairy tale." Du Bang decided that such a great mission required a shower first, but since he was new here, he had no idea where the bathroom was. He wandered around for a bit. In the huge villa, Du Bang spotted a room that looked like a bathroom. He crept closer, opened the door, and peeked inside. Seeing no one, he placed his clothes on a cabinet and pulled back the curtain. Suddenly, he saw Liao Yu in the bathtub, completely naked and soaking. She let out a piercing scream. Du Bang immediately scrambled out of the bathroom and slammed the door shut. Face flushed and breathless, he stood guard at the door, thinking, "I'm so dead this time. Am I gonna get kicked out?" Du Bang recalled the image, thinking that Liao Yu's skin was incredibly fair. From inside, Liao Yu's voice cried out, shouting his name. Du Bang thought this time he was truly finished. Chapter 28. He had just burst into her bathroom. He saw her full, round chest and her naked body. In the tub, she hastily wrapped a towel around herself to cover up and, blushing, yelled, "This is my time's bathroom, not yours." With a look of pure fury and a little shame from being peeped on by a pervert, she pointed to the adjacent bathroom, saying, "Yours is over there, you see?" And all the useless guy could do was apologize. The girl stormed off with a furious expression. He acted like he didn't know anything, while his eyes darted to her legs. With a lecherous gaze, his eyes looked as if he'd accidentally walked in on purpose. Then she told him to go to bed early. Wait, wasn't he going to shower? Why did he even go into the bathroom then? She continued, saying that tomorrow she and he would go to her best friend's house. After she finished speaking, he was still fantasizing about her naked form from earlier, practically drooling. Who knows what he was craving? Suddenly, he called out to her. "Wait a minute," she asked. "What is it?" The guy froze up and changed the subject. He asked if he could get an active advance on his salary. She just managed a forced smile and replied, "Okay, sure." The next day, he took the money to pay his landlady. The landlady looked a bit greedy, but also kind of cute for letting him owe a month's rent. After counting the money, she asked why. It was only 1,500, and why he wasn't paying for this month too. He told her that he wanted to move to another place. The landlady immediately yelled, "No way! You have to give notice before you move out. Where am I supposed to find a new tenant now?" Suddenly, the landlady threw a few bills at the guy. She said she was bringing someone to see the house, so he'd better be on his best behavior. He just put on a pitiful face, highlighting his own uselessness. He had gotten a 3,000 advance, but it was already gone. He walked around, wondering if there were any other options. Suddenly, he saw Niem Uyen Nuyet being arrested by city security for illegal street vending, but he just looked scared. He had no idea what his connection was to this girl. Chapter 29. Uyen Nguyet used the martial arts she'd practiced for so long, landing a powerful kick on a security guard. One guard crumpled to the ground in pain, while our guy just stared blankly. Another guard called for his team, yelling, "We've got trouble over here." A second later, a swarm of security and police arrived and asked the girl, "Were you the one who started this?" glaring at her and gritting their teeth. At this, the girl trembled in fear, repeatedly, saying she was sorry and that it was an accident. The guard continued, "Hand over your things and come with us for a little trip." He decided to play the hero, saving the damsel in distress. He kicked a guard, sending him flying and creating a domino effect that took down the guards behind him. Then he grabbed her hand, and they bolted from the scene. The guards, who had all crashed into each other, were furious. They must have been in a lot of pain, just doing their public service job of keeping the streets clean, and were wondering why citizens were attacking them. He pulled her hand to escape, leaving the guards writhing in pain on the ground. Chapter 30. The guards started to split up to find the two of them, still cursing, "Don't let them get away." Because the alley was so narrow, Uyen Ningita had to press up against him. Her large, round chest was squished against his body, making him blush. She, however, was too scared of the guards to notice. Just then, a security guard got close. Afraid she'd be discovered, he used his hand to pull her in even tighter. One of his hands wrapped around her waist, while the other held her close. She felt something wasn't right. This pervert was definitely taking advantage of the situation. To hug her, so she asked with an angry face, "Have you hugged me long enough?" Meanwhile, he was praying for time to stop, so he could hold her longer. Hearing her question, he reflexively lied, claiming he was just scared she'd be discovered, which is why he pulled her so close. She pushed him away and looked around to see if the security guards were still there. She walked out of the alley and thanked him for his help. Suddenly, he called her a kid and asked, "Are you short on money or something?" She turned her head back and replied that she wasn't earning money for herself, but to buy a little food for some kids, her face filled with embarrassment. Her body seemed to freeze up at his tactless question. He then walked over and asked her, were the kids she was trying to feed all orphans? She said yes, adding that she was much luckier than them. Without another word, she left, saying they'd meet again if fate willed it. He thought to himself that he couldn't rush this. He had to bide his time. Later, he returned home to find the woman who'd hired him as a fake boyfriend, struggling with a case of wine, panting heavily. He immediately stepped in, saying he'd carry it. Suddenly, her sweat-soaked shirt revealed a very full chest. The hint of her red bra through the white fabric made him blush. Meanwhile, she just wiped sweat from her face, totally exhausted. She had no idea he was staring at her chest, completely off her guard. Chapter 31. A young man and woman are walking towards a building. The guy's name is Do Bung. That's our MC. He's carrying a case of wine, and the girl behind him nervously tells him to be careful. Watch out, that's all expensive wine. They went inside, down to a cellar filled with rare vintages. The girl told our hero, just stack them by production year. Our MC immediately placed the wine onto the other containers. As soon as he was done, he asked her awkwardly, aren't you gonna go change your clothes? Only then did she realize her clothes were completely soaked and practically see-through. Mortified, she rushed off to change, leaving our MC standing there alone. Do Bung, being a bit of a perv, thought, man, the perks of living here are awesome. Next, our MC opened another door and found a beautiful woman lying on the sofa. Her stunning allure made our hero blush bright red. She replied, I'm wiped out. She was completely drained from moving everything. At that moment, an idea sparked in our hero's mind. He wanted to give her a massage. Her exhaustion was the perfect opportunity. He was just about to offer his help, but she spoke first. Do Bung, do you know how to give a massage? He quickly answered, I do. When she confirmed he knew how, the gorgeous girl asked for a massage, making our hero both thrilled and flustered. His whole body heated up and his heart started pounding, causing him to freeze for a moment. Chapter 32. Soft moans filled the room. The sounds of the girl enjoying our MC's massage. The girl stretched out on the sofa, letting our MC give her a massage. Do Bang's movements were swift and precise, making her incredibly comfortable. A little lower. Right there. Although his heart was racing, he did as she asked, moving his hands further down. The girl's skin was so fair and soft, our MC couldn't help but whisper, so soft. He swallowed hard, his hands trembling as he continued the massage. Thanks to our MC's skilled hands, she was feeling much more relaxed. With a satisfied look, she said, all right, that's much better. She sat up and thanked Do Bang happily. I never knew you had this skill. Our MC scratched his head shyly, saying, I used to massage my mom a lot. The girl replied, looks like I'm in for a treat from now on. The MC's expression turned pervy as he thought to himself, no, I'm the one who's in for a treat. The girl stood up to leave. Okay, I'm grabbing my bag. Come with me to my best friend's house. The seductive girl left, and our MC simply grunted. Just then, a tiny girl suddenly appeared, floating behind him. Her name was Xiao. Do Bang jumped. You scared the crap out of me. A text box appeared in midair. Received 5 justice points. Bonus reward, 1 cooldown pill. Our MC pointed at the text box and asked Xiao, what's this cooldown pill? Xiao answered confidently. It can instantly reset the cooldown on a keyboard skill, but it's single use only. After hearing her explanation, our MC stroked his chin and chuckled, haha, so that's what it is. Not bad. I'll save it for later. With 5 justice points, I can finally exchange for a treasure chest key, right? Chapter 33. Our MC pondered this, hand on his chin. Then he said, wait, doesn't Ran Wan Yue's mission also have a key I can exchange for? Xiao chimed in from the side. I forgot to tell you, that key isn't necessarily for a red treasure chest, the MC asked, confused. Huh? What do you mean? Xiao continued. Do Bang, haven't I told you? Treasure chests are divided into 7 color-coded tiers, and each one is different. And different chests require different keys. Right now, you can only exchange for red and orange keys in the shop. The other colors can only be obtained by completing missions. Our MC finally understood. Oh, I see. Dubong asked again, so what color is the key from Ranwan Yue's mission? Xiaoqi replied, you'll only find that out after you complete the mission. The MC let out a sigh and said, fine then, I'll exchange for a red key for now. Unlocking the C key requires 80 justice points. Still a long way to go. Xiaoqi suddenly spoke up. Dubong, you're such a pervert. Xiaoqi had noticed that he'd pitched a tent. They both looked down awkwardly, and the MC covered himself in embarrassment, shouting, shut your mouth. This is a normal reaction. Xiaoqi just giggled. Dubang ignored her and went back to the system screen. He clicked to exchange the key, then brought it to the chest. With a click, the chest sprang open. Inside the chest, an upgrade orb appeared. Xiaoqi cheered for the MC, congratulating him from the side. Dubang, wow, your luck isn't bad. It's an upgrade orb. You can use it to level up a keyboard skill. Hearing this, our MC excitedly asked, I can upgrade either the A key or the B key, right? Xiaoqi smiled cheerfully. Yep, it's your choice. The MC stared at the system screen, wondering which key to choose. In the end, he decided to go with the A key. As he selected the A key, Xiaoqi cast a spell. Okay, consuming one upgrade orb. Upgrading the A key. Suddenly, Xiaoqi threw a pink energy ball she'd just created right at the MC's face. Immediately, the system announced, upgrade successful. Our MC said with satisfaction, cooldown time decreased, usage duration increased. Very nice. But then, Dubang was suddenly stunned, because he realized he could see through things. Wait, X-ray vision? Chapter 34. Just then, Liao Yu burst into his room. She asked if he was ready. Dubang whipped his head around, stammering, yeah, I'm ready. Liao Yu turned sharply and walked away. Let's hurry, she said. Dubang rushed after her, eyeing her back and wondering if he should test out his new X-ray vision. But then he shook his head, deciding against it. I should save my skills for critical moments. If something happens, I'm screwed. His mission was to protect Liao Yu. A short while later, they stood in front of a coffee shop. Our MC looked up at the sign. It read Sweet Dream. Liao Yu winked and said, we're here. He asked blankly, this coffee shop? As she opened the door, she explained, my friend and I opened this place together. As Dubang was about to enter, he sensed someone was watching them. He immediately activated the system keyboard in midair, hitting the A key to activate his X-ray vision. Our MC saw right through a nearby wall and walked towards it. The goon hiding there was startled and looked for a place to run. Dubang only had to call out once, and the guy bolted. He thought, looks like that Red Fang gang won't give up. He let out a breath. Whatever. As long as he stuck by Liao Yu's side, she'd be safe. Dubang returned to the coffee shop and went inside. He apologized to Liao Yu for the delay, but as soon as he spoke, a sight that could cause a major nosebleed greeted him. Liao Yu and her friend, both in bikinis, were waving at him. Chapter 35. In a dark room somewhere, Sitan of the Red Fang gang was interrogating his underling. So, how's the shoulder? Lu Shi asked, rubbing it. I can't believe Liao Yu's bodyguard was actually willing to die for her. Tuthan took a long drag from his cigarette. He didn't blame Lu Shi for this failure. But Lu Shi knew exactly what had to be done. He smirked, telling Tuthan not to worry, that he'd already taken care of that bodyguard. He swore he wouldn't fail next time. As for that punk who got in his way, he'd finish him off too. Suddenly, a frantic knock echoed at the door. Tuthan cautiously reached for his gun and yelled, "Who is it?" A voice called from outside, "Boss Tuthan, it's me, Akang." Tuthan ordered his man to open the door. The door opened, and Akang bowed to Lu Shi. He then walked in, sat across from Tuthan, and reported on his surveillance of Liao Yu. He discovered she still had a bodyguard with her. Lu Shi yelled, "What?" Akang grimaced and said, "It's true. That kid is sharp. He even spotted me tailing him. I was afraid of blowing my cover, so I came back to report first." Lu Shi asked suspiciously, "Don't tell me that old geezer Liao Qishan found his daughter another badass bodyguard?" Tuthan blew out a puff of smoke and said calmly, "We already made one move on his daughter. Of course they're on high alert." Tuthan said it was fine. He had a plan. After Liao Qishan screwed up their plans, there was no way he'd let him off the hook. The scene shifts to the Sweet Dream Cafe. Our MC covers his nose as Liao Yu asks worriedly, "Your nose is bleeding again?" He waved it off. "It's nothing, probably just the heat." Liao Yu's friend kindly offered him a tissue to wipe the blood. But then, Dubong saw something he shouldn't have, and his nosebleed erupted all over again. Chapter 36. Liao Yu's friend didn't press him about the nosebleed. Instead, she asked Liao Yu, Aren't you going to introduce me? Liao Yu grinned, pointing to Du Bang. This is my new bodyguard, Du Bang. He's the one who saved me during yesterday's attack. The friend suddenly remembered their phone call. Liao Yu hadn't explained what really happened or why she was ambushed. Liao Yu's expression turned cold. It's probably just some of my dad's business affairs. I don't know the specifics. Her friend shot up angrily, slamming her hands on the table. What do you mean you don't know? Liao Yu tugged her sleeve. Shh, keep your voice down. The friend sat back down, crossing her arms in frustration. How could Liao Yu not know about something this serious? She winked, changing the subject. Relax. Didn't my dad already get me a new bodyguard? Her friend squinted skeptically at Du Bang. Is this guy for real? Liao Yu just gave Du Bang a confident slap on the shoulder. She must have seen his skills firsthand. Her expression changed as she asked seriously, is he even better than Li Dongfeng? You know, Li Dongfeng is the Sanda champion, Liao Yu said thoughtfully. Actually, she's kinda into him. Those guys actually managed to injure Dongfeng. The girl nodded and warned, that's why you have to be careful. She didn't want to lose Liao Yu. Liao Yu argued back, what are you talking about? Don't jinx it. The cafe's doorbell chimed as a customer arrived. The girl stood up, telling Liao Yu she had to help a customer and for them to keep talking. A waitress bowed. Welcome. Du Bang instinctively glanced at the door and his eyes went wide. What is times she times doing here? It was Hanya Thursday, chapter 37. Hanya Thu had suddenly appeared at the Sweet Dream Cafe, ordering a mocha. Hanya Thu's sudden presence made Du Bang's blood run cold. He remembered the dark past and how cruelly she had treated him. Noticing the color drain from his face, Liao Yu asked if he was okay. At first, Du Bang said it was nothing, but she soon realized he knew the girl sitting near the door, Hanya Thursday. He admitted that she was his ex-girlfriend. Liao Yu was surprised and started teasing him. She even said his ex was pretty, but Du Bang shot that down. Just looking at her made him sick. She cheated on him, sleeping with another guy while they were together. Even Liao Yu agreed that was crossing the line. Hearing their voices, Hanya Thu suddenly turned her head. Du Bang instantly ducked out of sight. His reaction confused Liao Yu. Hanya Thu was the one who cheated, not him. Why was he the one hiding? Du Bang agreed, but seeing her still made him super awkward. Liao Yu just casually told him to go over and say hi. Du Bang was totally helpless. Just then, Liao Yu's friend returned after helping the customer, asking what was going on. Liao Yu pointed at Hanya Thu and told her friend, that's Du Bang's ex-girlfriend. He yelled in frustration, don't just announce it. Liao Yu's friend just smirked and asked, you want some payback? Chapter 38. Liao Yu's best friend suddenly grabbed Du Bang's arm, trying to drag him over to say hi to his ex. But Du Bang wanted nothing to do with her, yanking his arm back. Suddenly, he was shoved from behind. It was Liao Yu's friend who pushed him right towards Hanya Thu's table, saying, what are you so scared of? He stumbled right in front of Hanya Thu, who was shocked by his sudden appearance. He looked up and gave an awkward hello. Hanya Thu slammed the table and shot up, accusing him, are you stalking me? Meanwhile, Du Bang was shooting daggers at Liao Yu and her friend, but they just totally ignored his plea for help. Since she didn't get an answer, Hanya Thu snapped again, forcing Du Bang to face her. He just said he was there for a coffee, but she just scoffed, saying she thought Coke was more his style. That pissed Du Bang off. He shot back that there was a lot she didn't know about him now. Hanya Thu just kept mocking him, saying he never dared to spend money at a fancy cafe like this, accusing him of just putting on an act. Du Bang sneered right back at her. He said, without her rich sugar daddy, she was nothing. Enraged, she grabbed his collar. Just then, Liao Yu's friend showed up. She announced that his coffee was ready, then casually linked her arm with his, making him blush bright red. She leaned in close and whispered, asking about his relationship with Hanya Thursday. He simply replied, I don't know her. Hanya Thu gritted her teeth in fury. Just then, Liao Yu cheerfully ran over, announcing his pastry was ready too, and she wrapped her arm around his other side. This time, Du Bang's face was beet red, his heart pounding out of his chest. Seeing this, Hanya Thu was absolutely livid. Chapter 39. Du Bang was in paradise. Liao Yu was feeding him a delicious pastry while her beautiful friend fanned him, making him blush. Hanya Thu watched from a distance, her body trembling with rage. Right at that moment, young Master D walked into the cafe. He found his little girlfriend so furious she was shredding the tablecloth in front of her. He was about to ask why, when Hanya Thu told him to look over there. The first thing that caught young Master D's eye was two absolute goddesses. Only after Hanya Thu pointed it out did he notice Du Bang being pampered by them. Hanya Thu jumped to her feet, screaming at them, asking if they were blind for fawning over a loser like Du Bang. Then she stormed out. Young Master Dai rushed after her, green with envy that Dubong got to enjoy such top-tier beauties when he hadn't. After they left, Liao Yu and her friend burst out laughing. Dubang scratched his head and said, "Thanks, you two." Liao Yu's friend replied, "Don't thank us. Just make sure you take good care of Liao Yu." Outside the cafe, young Master D and a group of thugs were waiting. They were waiting there, plotting to ambush Dubang. Chapter 40. The cafe owner said, "Don't be sad. A woman like her isn't worth it." Dubong replied, "Yeah, I'm not sad, just pissed off." "What's there to be pissed about? I already got revenge for you, and you still have Lu Vu," the owner said. Vu shyly replied, "What nonsense are you talking about?" The owner lifted his chin and said, "You know, I think Dubang is pretty handsome." Ring, ring, ring. Vu's phone went off. "Hello? What? For real? I'll be there right away," Dubong asked with concern. "What's wrong?" Vu replied, "Li Dongfeng is awake." The owner said, "I'm coming too," and turned to her employee, "I've got to step out for a bit. You're in charge of the shop." As they opened the door, a group of guys was staring them down. Bang spoke up. "You again?" The perv with glasses said, "That's the punk. Get him." Bang told the two women to step back. Vu warned, "Bang, be careful." Bang replied, "It's nothing." The blonde guy raised his fist angrily. "Kid, this is your unlucky day." Dubong blocked it with one hand. *THWAK**. He then said, "I'm not the same Dubang I used to be." Chapter 41. How is this guy so strong? The blonde guy thought. What are you idiots doing? "Get him!" the perv with the glasses shouted. The hatted guy and the blonde charged forward. Vu yelled from the doorway, "Dubang! Watch out!" Dubong grabbed the blonde's arm and slammed him down, crashing him into the guy in the hat. The man with the glasses was terrified. What's happening? How did this kid suddenly get so damn strong? He thought, then said, "What do you want?" Dubong glared at him. "Where's my software?" The guy started sweating bullets. "What software?" "I don't know what you're talking about." Dubong furiously grabbed his collar. "Still playing dumb? Give me back my software." Vu, confused, shouted, "Dubang, look out." The guy in the hat struck his shoulder. "Boss, let's go." And with that, the thugs fled with their leader. Vu rushed over. "Dubong, are you okay?" Chapter 42. Inside Liu Vu's mansion. "How is it? Feeling any better?" Vu asked. Bang replied, "I'm fine. It's just a scratch. I was just careless." Vu said, "Okay, you should stay here and rest. Mong, Kiet and I will go visit Li Dongfeng." Bang said, "I'm coming with you." But Vu insisted, "Just stay here and rest. The hospital's not far. We'll be fine." "All right then. You two be careful," Vu replied. "You just focus on getting better. Bye-bye." Bang sat down and thought, the B key may have given me a strong body, but without any real fighting skills, it's useless. I have to get these missions done. A screen popped up, commencing the capture of Niem Uyen Nguyet. That's right, I still haven't finished this mission. The slums. You think she's not home? What's that? Weird thing up there? Suddenly, a girl pulled back the curtain, yelped, "What are you doing here?" and quickly closed it. Chapter 43. Dubong blushed. He covered his face. "Sorry. I didn't know you were in there." Niem Uyen Ningyet, blushing, held the curtain. "Just get out first." Dubong quickly turned away. A moment later, Niem Uyen Nuyet came downstairs. She stood before him. "Huh, you don't look half bad when you're not in rags." Niem Uyen Nuyet snapped. "Yeah, right. Who wears rags? Why are you here? Oh, where are the kids? I came to visit them." "So, he didn't come for me," she thought, saying sarcastically, "Oh, so you're a good guy after all. You're the good one here. You've always taken care of them, right? Well, the kids have it so rough." Dubang looked at her. "Can you tell me about them?" They're orphans from around here. When I first saw them, they were digging through trash for food." "So you took them in?" Niem Uyen Niet looked down. "Yeah, there are 3 of them. You met 2 of them last time." Dubong looked at her, surprised. "What about the 3rd one?" Her face darkened as she stammered. Never mind. I'll figure it out myself." Dubong grabbed her hand. "If you're going to call me a good guy, then there's no way I'm not going to help. Tell me." Through her tears, she said, "He's sick. I'm trying to figure out how to earn money for his treatment." He smiled at her. "Don't cry. Let me take a look." Mission Stage 1, complete. Chapter 44. Niem Uyen Nguyet wiped her tears. "Okay, let me take you to him." They left the room together. Dubong called out, "Xiao Qi, Xiao Qi, what does Stage 1 mean?" Some large missions are divided into stages, each with different rewards. For the mission you just completed, Stage 1. You received 5 justice points. Dubong complained. Only 5 points? That's it? Don't be greedy. There will be better rewards later on. We're here. This is it. Dubong and Niam Uyen Nguyet entered. A hospital room. His name is Xiaom. Before I found him, he was the one taking care of the other 2. What's wrong with him? Niam Uyen Nguyet said sadly. I don't know. The doctor said some stuff I didn't understand. Basically, it's really hard to treat. Every day in here costs a fortune. Big sis, you're here? Hearing his voice, Niam Uyen Nguyet rushed over. Xiaomong, I'm here. Dubong's presence caught the boy's eye. Sis, is this your boyfriend? Niam Uyen Nguyet blushed. Don't say that. He's a very nice big brother. Xiaomong winked at her. Sis, only a very nice big brother can become your boyfriend. All right. Just focus on getting better. We can talk about that after you've recovered. A boyfriend? Well, in that case, I'll definitely try to get better. Just then, a nurse burst in. Hey, it's time to pay the hospital fees. Your last payment has run out. Nurse, is it possible to pay 2 days late? The nurse snapped. No. If you don't have money, you can't stay here. Get out of here now. Other people are waiting for a bed. Chapter 45. Ran Wanyue was horrified. But please, look at this child. Spare me the excuses. If you don't pay today, you're getting transferred out. Immediately. Dubong glared at the nurse. Hey lady, isn't that a little harsh? Who are you? Hi, I'm Dubang, her friend. I was just asking if we could get a 2-day extension. It's not like we're trying to skip out on the bill, the nurse scoffed. Start packing. No money means you get lost. Dubong was furious. Hey, do you really have to be like that? The nurse shot back aggressively. What the hell? A broke loser like you trying to pick up girls? Who said I don't have money? The nurse glared at him. Then pay up. I don't have time to play games with you people. If you have the money, pay. If not, get out. Dubong fumed. You. The nurse walked away. What's with that attitude? Ranwan Yue tried to calm Dubang. Just let it go. What kind of person acts like that? Is this even a hospital? Ranwan Yue said sadly. Just forget it. I guess our only choice is to take Xiaomang home. Wait, how much is the bill? Ranwan Yue burst into tears. Xiaomang's treatment costs about 500 yuan a day. Dubang was shocked. 500 yuan a day? Sis, let's just go home. Xiaomang, it's okay. We don't need the treatment anymore. Ranwan Yue held Xiaomang's hand and sobbed. Xiaomang, it's all my fault. I'm so useless. Dubang gritted his teeth. Let me figure something out. Chapter 46. In the hospital room, Ranwan Yue asked doubtfully, You're just a lowly security guard. Where would you get that kind of money? Dubang immediately corrected her. Hey, it's bodyguard, not security guard. Stroking the little girl's head, Ranwan Yue replied, Close enough. I should just figure it out myself. You're broke, too. Dubang shot back. Who says I'm broke? I can tell just by looking at you, she said. Dubang then pulled a thick wad of cash from his pocket and slapped it onto the hospital bed. He said, Here's 1,000 for now. I'll take care of the rest. With that, Dubang left the room. Ranwan Yue picked up the cash and whispered, You're a good person. Thank you. I'll pay you back. Meanwhile, Dubang was racking his brain. How am I going to make some cash? I can't ask Liu Yu for another advance. Suddenly, Xiaoqi appeared. Why don't you just use the keyboard? Dubang replied helplessly to the tiny girl sitting on his shoulder. But I've already thought about that. Right now, neither the A key nor the B key can make me any money. But then it hit him. That's right, the A key. Suddenly, an announcement came over the speakers. Welcome to the Chi-Man Shopping Center. Today, any customer who spends 100 yuan will get a chance to participate in our Golden Egg Smash. The grand prize is 50,000 in cash. Second prize is a massage chair worth 30,000. Don't just walk by, give it a try. Hearing this, Dubang grinned. This is it. Dubang walked into a clothing store, grabbed a t-shirt and said, Hi, I'll take this shirt. Then he added, So this means I can smash a golden egg, right? The clerk replied, Oh, that's right. It's exactly 100 yuan. You can smash one. After Dubang left, the sales clerk smirked to himself, thinking, What an idiot. Did he really come here just to smash an egg? Like, it's that easy to actually win. Chapter 47. At the Golden Egg event, just show me your receipt, and you can join our Golden Egg Smash. Each person only gets one chance. An old man stepped forward, handed his receipt to the host and said, All right, let me give it a shot. Yes, sir. Just pick anyone you like and give it a good whack. The old man focused, stared at the eggs, then declared, That's the one. He swung the hammer and smashed the egg. But inside, there was nothing. The old man was incredibly disappointed. The host announced, "Nothing inside the golden egg. That's a consolation prize." Consolation prize winners can pick up a small gift from the display case. One of the audience members shouted, "Hey, is this thing rigged or what? How do we know all these golden eggs aren't just duds with consolation prizes?" The host replied, "Please rest assured, sir, this event is 100% legitimate and real. The grand prize is definitely in one of these eggs," Dubong thought to himself. "She's gorgeous. All right, let's continue the event. Any customer who spent 100 yuan can participate. First come, first served." Dubong raised his hand and asked, quick question. "What happens when you smash the grand prize egg?" The host answered, "If the golden egg sprays out golden petals, that's the grand prize. Silver and red petals are for second and third place." "Got it. Then let me have a go." From a distance, a blue-haired man was watching the event. He muttered, "Is he really just here to smash eggs? Young people these days are so naive it's almost cute. All right, handsome, please choose your egg." Dubang looked at the host, covered his mouth, and whispered, "Ahem. A guy can't really choose his own times, eggs asterisk, you know." As if she understood the double meaning, the host blushed and shouted, "The golden eggs, I meant the golden eggs." Dubang focused and activated his A key. Slowly, the eggs became transparent, and he could see right inside them. The host handed him the hammer. "Here you go, handsome, your hammer." Because he was using the A key, Dubang could also see the host's underwear, causing him to get a massive nosebleed. "Oh crap, I forgot. I'm not supposed to be staring at girls right now." Chapter 48. Kwai Dong noticed Dubong spacing out and asked, "Hey handsome, you alright?" Thanks to his skill, Dubong could see her entire figure, causing a nosebleed. He blushed and said, asterisk coughs times, I'm fine. Then, his eyes focused on the prize eggs, seeing right through them. Instantly, he spotted the one with the grand prize. Kwai Dong told him to just pick one at random. He grabbed a hammer, walked to the winning egg, and said, "Yep, this is the one." Dubong smashed it open, and golden tickets fluttered out, proving it held the grand prize. The hostess was so stunned, she couldn't say a word. The manager saw it, and was completely shocked. "What the hell? Is this kid the chosen one or something?" Then, she joyfully announced, "Congratulations to this handsome gentleman. You've won the grand prize of 50,000 in cash." Dubong stood there, listening to the crowd's gasps of admiration for his insane luck. He thanked her, and she instructed him, "Sir, please follow our staff backstage to claim your prize." Suddenly, a voice shouted, "Wait a minute, it was that old geezer from before." Unconvinced, he yelled, "I suspect this kid is in cahoots with you guys. This whole prize draw is a scam, isn't it?" Her face darkened. "Sir, you can't just make baseless accusations like that." Hearing this, he got angrier. "What do you mean, baseless? I saw how cozy you two were." Chapter 49. Kwai Dong heard this and snapped, "What the hell are you talking about?" He screamed, pointing at her, "I'm saying this guy is your boyfriend, right? You're working together, putting on a show." Furious, she walked right up to him and slapped him across the face. The old man was stunned, then roared in fury, "You bitch! You dare hit me?" He raised his hand to slap her back, but Dubong instantly grabbed his wrist. He shoved his hand away and snarled, "Get lost." The man stumbled back, shouting, "And you say you're not together?" Dubang replied, "I just don't like seeing guys hit women." The old geezer shrieked, "Get your boss out here." The hostess made an announcement. "My apologies, everyone. The prize draw will be paused for a moment, but please believe me, this draw is 100% legitimate. This gentleman is definitely not my boyfriend, nor is he one of our employees." The crowd started murmuring sarcastically, "Who knows who's telling the truth? Even if it's real, the grand prize is gone. Let's just leave." "Yeah, let's bounce." The manager came out and asked Kwai Dong, "What's going on?" She explained, "Sir, this is what happened. This guy won the grand prize, but that gentleman over there doesn't believe our draw is real." After hearing her out, the manager spoke, "All right, I understand. I'll give him the prize." With that, he took a check for 50,000 from his jacket and said, "Sir, here is your grand prize." Dubong took it, beaming, "Thanks, boss." After he said that, the manager's face turned grim. He told Kwai Dong, "Pack your things and get out." She heard this, stunned, and said, "What?" Chapter 50. Kwai Dong was devastated. The microphone slipped from her hand. Her face fell as she asked, "Why?" The boss said bluntly, "We don't need you here anymore." But in his mind, he blamed her. "Why'd you have to make the prize draw real? Now I'm out 50,000. Kwai Dong took a deep breath, patiently telling him, "I need an explanation." He scowled, annoyed. "You want an explanation? Go learn how the real world works before you try to get a job." Kwai Dong was shaking with anger, but could do nothing. Humiliated, she turned to leave. Du Bang cluelessly asked, "Is she okay?" She didn't say a word and just walked away. Du Bang scoffed. "Whatever, I got the money. That's what matters." Suddenly, a Times ding time sounded, and a new notification popped up, startling Du Bang. New character activated, Kwai Dong's story. The protagonist muttered in surprise. "This girl is a mission objective too? Looks like I can't just ignore this after all." The mission details appeared. Learn Kwai Dong's story. Understand her inner world, help her overcome her difficulties, and receive a kiss. Mission reward, 50 justice points. Du Bang's face darkened, weirded out by the receive a kiss part. What kind of mission is this? But he reluctantly accepted, since the reward was pretty high. Little 7, perched on Du Bang's shoulder, said, "The keyboard adds special missions based on the host's preferences." Du Bang flinched and frowned. "Are you saying I'm a perv?" Little 7 snickered, "Aren't you?" Hearing that, Du Bang recalled all the times he'd seen through girls' clothes and had no comeback. He just froze, completely dumbfounded. Little 7 urged him, "All right, go after her first. We'll talk later." Kwai Dong was walking alone on an empty street. Thunder rumbled, and it began to pour. She just stood in the rain, not even trying to find shelter, staring up at the sky with sad eyes. Suddenly, her view was blocked by a pink umbrella opening up to shield her from the rain. Surprised, she turned to see who was holding it. Chapter 51. Du Bang held the umbrella for Kwai Dong and said, "Standing in the rain isn't good for you." Touched by his concern, Kwai Dong blushed shyly. She hesitantly thanked him. Du Bang also blushed and looked away, stammering, You're all wet." Kwai Dong looked down and saw her soaked clothes clinging to her body, making her even more embarrassed. She turned away from Du Bang, crossing her arms to cover herself. Du Bang smiled gently, shielding Kwai Dong from the rain. "Let me take you home?" Kwai Dong agreed. They soon arrived at her apartment. Kwai Dong thanked him for walking her home. "No problem," Du Bang said, closing the umbrella. Brushing her hair back, she asked him to wait a moment. She was about to go take a shower, but Du Bang said he had to get to the hospital to see a friend. Delighted, Kwai Dong asked him to leave. His contact info. A huge grin spread across Du Bang's face. "Let's add each other on WeChat." As he walked away, he smirked to himself. "Now that I have her contact, I can start the mission." Arriving at the Li Dian clinic, Du Bang spotted the nurse he'd argued with before. She was walking with her boyfriend. Du Bang glanced across the street and saw a girl smoking alone under an awning. A smirk appeared on his face. He'd just cooked up a plan. He walked right up to her. "Hey, beautiful, mind helping me out?" The girl was taken aback by a total stranger asking for help. She just frowned and stayed silent. Seeing her reaction, he whipped out a thick wad of cash. "Just a small favor, and all this is yours." Chapter 52. After her shift, the nasty nurse's boyfriend showed up to meet her. The couple shared an umbrella in the pouring rain. Noticing she sighed, he asked, "What's wrong? You don't seem happy." And so she launched into a tirade, complaining about some poor patients, hinting at Ran Wan Ye and Xiaom. She claimed they couldn't afford the bill and were just hogging a hospital bed from other patients. But her boyfriend was confused. "That's an issue for the Li Dian clinic. Why are you so worked up about it?" She was just pissed off and needed to vent. As they were walking, a blonde girl suddenly appeared. It was the same girl Du Bang had hired earlier. Seeing the couple getting cozy, it became clear this guy was a two-timer. The rain fell harder. The blonde stepped forward, blocking their path. The nasty nurse and her arrogant boyfriend were shocked. Seeing the stunned silence, she demanded to know who this girl was. A moment later, the blonde exploded at the boyfriend. "How dare you cheat on me?" Then she delivered a swift slap right across the face. The nurse was totally speechless. After the slap, the blonde burst into tears and ran off into the rain. The nurse turned to her boyfriend, who was still rubbing his stinging cheek. Suddenly, she sensed something was very wrong. He slowly looked over at her, but the nurse had reached her limit. Before he could even speak, she cut him off, screaming, "Who was that?" Flustered, he begged her to calm down and let him explain. "It's not what you think." She wasn't having it. Bam! She slapped his other cheek, bursting into tears. She couldn't believe what was happening. She stormed off, leaving her boyfriend utterly confused in the rain. And who was watching from behind a corner? None other than Du Bang. He couldn't help but burst out laughing at the cheater's downfall. After enjoying the show, he headed back to the clinic. At the front desk, he paid the hospital bill for room 811. Afterwards, he made his way back and opened the door. He found Ran Wan Yue feeding Xiaom. She looked up as he entered. He immediately shared the good news. He'd paid 10,000 for her medical expenses, which should last a while. He told her to make sure Xiaom gets the treatment. She was shocked. "Where did you get that much money?" she asked. He just told her not to worry about it. Just then, a purple light flashed before his eyes. System initiating A-rank mission. The mission to win over Ran Wanyue was now complete. He stared at the screen for a second, but then it vanished. He was completely baffled. Meanwhile, at the clinic's entrance, slow, deliberate footsteps approached the gate. What's about to happen to Du Bang and Ran Wanyue? And who is this mysterious figure? Chapter 53. Back in the clinic, while Wan Ye was taking care of Xiaom, Du Bang hid behind the curtain. He opened the system to claim his mission rewards. The reward was 20 justice points and 1 golden key. He let out a sigh of relief. Finally, it was done. A golden key was awesome, but he didn't have a golden chest to use it on. He decided to worry about that later. He claimed his rewards and tucked the key away for now. Just then, the system issued a new mission. It was that A-rank mission from before. Objective: subdue the Black Swan. He was stunned, but worried Wan Yue might overhear. He glanced over his shoulder. She was still focused on Xiaom, but just to be safe, he excused himself. "I'm just going to the restroom." He stepped out, closed the door, and went to find it. Just then, a figure appeared behind him. A woman. In the restroom, he checked to make sure he was alone. Once he was sure the coast was clear, he opened the system. To check out this A-rank mission, Xiao Qi appeared and explained. A-rank missions are high-level quests. They're incredibly difficult, but the rewards are massive. Hearing that, he turned his attention back to the mission screen. A-rank mission, subdue the Black Swan. He reached out and tried to tap the mission to see the details, but nothing happened. He kept tapping it over and over, but it wouldn't open. Seeing him struggle, Xiao Qi finally spoke up. He was bummed. Why was this mission so vague? It didn't even reveal Black Swan's identity. She smiled, saying the mission would activate, and once he got close to the target, the divine keyboard would reveal the answer. Since it sounded so easy, he didn't hesitate. He desperately needed justice points, so he hit accept on the system. Just then, in the women's restroom, that same woman stepped up to the mirror. After making sure no one was following, she pulled out her phone. She told the person on the other end she'd arrived. The voice on the line told her to stick to the plan. She simply replied, "Understood." Meanwhile, Du Bang exited the men's room, mission accepted. As he wondered how to capture Black Swan, his mind drifted to a white-haired woman in a maid outfit. She was inviting her master for coffee. What a total simp. Just then, the woman from before also walked out of the restroom. While Du Bang was snickering to himself, they came face to face. Suddenly, the system pinged. The woman in front of him was Black Swan. Holy crap, he'd found her, but being a total girl-crazy idiot, he put the mission on hold to tell her how beautiful she was. Seeing the look in his eyes, she was utterly repulsed. Chapter 54. The moment he saw Black Swan, Du Bang's eyes lit up, practically drooling. When she started to walk away, he immediately gave chase. She noticed she was being followed and ducked into another hallway. By the time he caught up, she had vanished. She was hiding in one of the rooms, knife in hand, watching the doorway. Unable to find her, he used the A key to scan the area. Seeing him distracted, she silently opened the door, ready to take him out. Suddenly, Liao Yu appeared. "What are you doing here?" Startled, he blurted out that he was just worried and came to check on things. He glanced over and saw her inside the room. He knew he'd been made. He quickly pretended to ask Liao Yu about Li Dongfeng's condition. "He's awake now," Liao Yu replied. They decided to go see him. As they walked away, Du Bang thought, "Damn, her senses are sharp. Looks like I can't just tail her carelessly." From behind the door, she thought, "He's just some random pervert. I was overthinking it." She opened the door and quickly left. Chapter 55. When they entered the room, they found Li Dongfeng sitting on the bed, covered in bandages. Seeing Du Bang walk in with Liao Yu, Li Dongfeng looked suspicious. Liao Yu quickly introduced him. "He's the new bodyguard. He's very trustworthy, so you can focus on recovering." Li Dongfeng was skeptical. "Isn't he the guy who snuck into the villa? How can you trust him so easily, miss?" She replied. "Don't worry, he's already passed my father's test." Hearing this, he reluctantly accepted. He then asked the young miss to step outside, wanting to speak with Du Bang alone. After she left, Li Dongfeng sized Du Bang up. "Are you really trustworthy?" Then, his expression turned serious. "If you're going to be the young Mrs. Bodyguard, there are things you absolutely must know. The assassin who infiltrated the villa was from the Hong Yan Society. They're a powerful organization that's been growing rapidly in H City for the past 2 years. Last year, they tried to force a partnership with the old master. He refused, and now they're targeting the young miss. They're extremely dangerous. The one they sent last time was incredibly strong. The young miss is in grave danger." Dubong stood up. I get it, he said. As long as I'm here, no one will ever harm her. Cut to Black Swan. She stood over a young girl's bed with a sinister smile. Found you. Chapter 56. Wan Yue headed to Xiaomang's room, carrying her favorite meal, a bowl of porridge and a salted egg. When she reached the door, she found it was already ajar. Did someone already visit? She wondered. She pushed the door open and stepped inside. Suddenly, she saw a cloaked woman with a knife standing over Xiaomang's bed. Who are you? She screamed, throwing the salted egg at the intruder. But the woman's reflexes were insane. She sliced the egg in midair. Next came the bowl of porridge. The woman, who was none other than Black Swan, leaned back, dodging it easily. Wan Yue rushed to shield Xiaomang with her body. Who are you? She yelled. What do you want with her? Black Swan shot back. And who are you? What are you to this kid? Wan Yue declared. I'm her sister. Wait, no, I asked you first. Why should I answer you? Wan Yue repeated her question. Who are you? Black Swan's face darkened. I'm here on a job, she said flatly. In that moment, Wan Yue knew she was here to kill Xiaomang. The two faced off. Knowing too much is bad for your health, Black Swan warned. Wan Yue shot back. You're not laying a finger on her. Black Swan scoffed, a disdainful smirk on her face. She lunged straight for Xiaomang, but just then, her wrist was caught by Wan Yue. She never expected this woman to have a divine relic. Chapter 57. Outside the room, Du Bang was panting. So, it's the Hongyan Society. Looks like I've really stepped in it now. He glanced around, but Liao Yu was nowhere in sight. Oh well, whatever. Time to focus on the mission. If he didn't level up fast, he wouldn't even see his own death coming. Who knows? Meanwhile, Wan Yue was in a fierce battle with Black Swan. She struck at Black Swan with her artifact. Luckily, Black Swan was fast enough to dodge the blow. Wan Yue scowled and turned to look at her. Damn it. Black Swan realized the intel was wrong. Wasn't she supposed to be just a normal little girl? Suddenly, Xiaomang's voice cried out, It's so noisy. Black Swan seized the opportunity and rushed to grab Xiaomang. Wan Yue's slip-up gave Black Swan the opening she needed. She yelled, Oh no! Black Swan had a knife hidden behind her back, but just as she was about to attack Xiaomang, the little girl's eyes widened. Wow, you're so pretty, miss. Black Swan was stunned by the girl's cuteness. She just huffed and jumped out the window to escape. Just then, Du Bang opened the door and asked, How's Xiaomang? Flustered, Wan Yue told him someone had just tried to kill Xiaomang. She told him to watch the girl while she went after the assassin. Outside, Black Swan was trying to get away. Du Bang spotted her and pulled back Wan Yue, who was about to give chase. He told her to let him go instead. Chapter 58. Black Swan recalled Xiaomang's sparkling eyes and her words. Wow, you're so pretty. Miss. Dazed, she walked while typing on her phone, deciding to report the failed assassination mission to her superiors. At that moment, Du Bang was hiding behind a wall, watching her. He thought, she's a real assassin, all right. This mission's going to be tough. At a bar, Black Swan walked inside. A young waitress said to her, You're back. The boss is waiting for you in his room. Black Swan replied, I know. A moment later, Du Bang walked in. The waitress greeted him, Welcome, sir. Du Bang went to the counter and said, I'll have a Coke. The bartender told him, Sir, this is a bar. He slammed a stack of cash on the counter and said, Give me one Coke. Seeing the money, the waitress immediately perked up and went to prepare it. Just then, Black Swan entered a private room, with Du Bang following closely behind. But as he approached, a man in glasses blocked his way. He said, You can't go in here. Du Bang had to pretend he was looking for the bathroom. The man pointed in a direction and said, The restroom is over there. Du Bang thanked him and turned to leave. He went back to his seat, scowling and sipping his drink. He thought, If I can't get in, I'll just have to force my way. He then used his artifact to secretly listen in on their conversation. Chapter 59. Inside the room, the boss asked her, With your skills, how could you have failed? Black Swan replied, There was someone with an artifact protecting the girl. Outside, Du Bang was startled by this unexpected discovery. An artifact belonging to Wan Yue? The boss asked in surprise. An artifact? What grade is it? Black Swan said, I'm not sure, but it's definitely not a high grade. The boss gritted his teeth. How could this happen? This is completely different from the client's intel. Black Swan stood to the side, her face hidden in the shadows, her expression unreadable. She said, According to the file, the little girl is the illegitimate daughter of the CEO of Zhonglin Group. Her mother passed away last year. Other than our client, no one else should know her identity. The boss scratched his head, thinking, That's strange. Why would someone with an artifact be protecting her? Black Swan exclaimed, I don't know either. Anyway, I'm dropping this mission. Have the boss investigate properly before we proceed. With that, she walked out. Du Bang saw her and guiltily turned his head away. Black Swan went out, grabbed a bottle of wine, and sat down to drink. Du Bang summoned Xiao Qi and asked her, "What do they mean by artifact grades?" Xiao Qi stared at the glass of soda and said, "Haven't I told you before?" Du Bang gave this unreliable kid a look and said, "You haven't told me anything." Xiao Qi chugged the entire glass of soda. After finishing, she exclaimed, "So good." Du Bang snatched the glass from her and told the little spirit to explain things first. Xiao Qi let out a sigh and said, "All right, fine. I'll tell you. There are many artifacts in this world, and they're divided by strength. That's what you call grades." Du Bang asked again, "So how are the grades classified?" Xiao Qi slowly explained, "Artifacts are divided into 7 grades: red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. Among them, red grade artifacts are the most common. There's a huge difference between each grade, both in function and rarity." Du Bang asked in surprise, 7 grades? That many? Xiao Qi sat cross-legged on the rim of the glass and explained, "That's right. Purple grade artifacts are extremely rare. There might not be more than 5 in the entire world." Du Bang suddenly wondered what grade his keyboard was. Little Xiao Qi looked at him and said, "It's purple grade, duh." At this point, Du Bang felt like he was about to turn to stone. He shouted, "What?" Chapter 60. After explaining everything to Du Bang, Xiao Qi suddenly put a finger to her cheek, smiled smugly, and said proudly, "Only blue and purple grade artifacts can have an artifact spirit. You know, an adorable one like me." Hearing this, he was stunned by her arrogance. He gloomily questioned her, "Adorable? What part of you is adorable?" Triggered by his words, Xiao Qi's expression changed. She glared at him furiously, speaking slowly and menacingly. "What did you say?" Seeing Xiao Qi fuming, he immediately took back what he said and tried to soothe her. "No, nothing. Here, boss, drink some Coke." Saying that, he slowly offered the cup to her. Seeing the giant glass, Xiao Qi excitedly reached out to touch it. She eyed the drink with satisfaction, then flew up, grabbed the straw, and started sipping. As Little Seven chugged her Coke, he remembered what she said about the keyboard, still in disbelief. A purple grade divine artifact. He couldn't believe it. Just the thought of it made him worry. He had to keep this a secret. Meanwhile, Little Seven took a huge gulp, her face beaming with pure satisfaction, like she'd never tasted anything so good. Seeing his confusion about the keyboard, she explained, "You've only unlocked 2 basic keys. You can't even use its full power yet." She was totally right. He slammed his fist on the table in agreement. "That's it," he decided. "I need to finish this mission, fast." With new resolve, he glanced back and spotted his target. The Black Swan was still there, drinking away her troubles. Perfect chance, he thought. As she took another long drink, he quietly moved closer. The moment she set her glass down, he made his move. "Hey beautiful, can I buy you a drink?" He flashed a friendly smile as he spoke. Hearing his voice, she glanced over and felt a sense of familiarity. Then it hit her. They'd met at Lydian Hospital earlier. She double-checked. "It's you?" His cover was blown, but he didn't flinch. He slowly sat down beside her, smoothly trying to continue the conversation. He began, "Running into you twice in one day? I must be fate. So, how about that drink?" She considered his offer, taking another sip of her drink. Suddenly, the door creaked open behind them. 3 figures walked in, a mob boss and his 2 goons. The lackeys immediately stepped aside, clearing a path for him. "After you, boss." The moment he was inside, he barked an order. "All right, listen up. First rule of any bar is to find the prettiest girl in the room." The blonde goon immediately complied. "Yes, boss." The other one was already scanning the room when his eyes landed on her. He quickly alerted his boss. "Boss, check it out." Then he pointed right at her and exclaimed, "She's a total smoke show." With a body that stunning and a dazzling beauty like that, the boss's heart started racing, and he was practically drooling. He signaled his goons, "We've got our target. Let's move." At that exact moment, she noticed the 3 of them heading straight for her. She had no choice. She looked over at Du Bang, finally accepting his offer and asking him to order her drink. "Fine, I'll have a Mai Thai." Chapter 61. Hearing the Black Swan, his mission target, finally agree, Du Bang smiled. He immediately agreed to order it for her. "Sure thing, no problem." He raised his hand and waved for the waitress. Seeing the signal, the waitress quickly came to their table. She greeted them with a bow and asked Du Bang, "Hello sir, what can I get for you?" He was just about to say, "Get this lady a glass of," when he completely blanked on the name of the drink. He froze up, looking completely stiff, With an awkward laugh, he told the waitress, "Just a second." Turning back to her, he asked, "What was the name of that drink again?" Seeing how flustered he was, she smirked and repeated the name, Mai Thai. Her voice was a bit firmer this time, totally embarrassed. He laughed it off and quickly agreed. Right. That's the one." The waitress giggled at his confusion, but still bowed politely before leaving to place the order. Suddenly, a cruel laugh echoed from behind them. Haha, it was that mob boss from earlier. He must have been watching, laughing at how pathetic Dubong looked. He sneered, "Can't even remember a drink's name, and you're trying to hit on women? Hey kid, why don't you just go home and watch some porn?" The boss's two goons roared with laughter. Dubong's face darkened instantly. Hearing those insults, he was furious, but managed to keep his cool. Seizing the chance, the boss swaggered up, slamming his hand on the table with a loud thud that made everything shake. "Sweetheart, let me buy you that Mai Tai, right? I'll drink with you." But she just calmly held her glass, unfazed. She looked up at him and said flatly, "Sorry, not interested." Her words hit him like a lightning bolt. He froze, completely stunned. Yeah, it looked like he was used to getting any girl he wanted. This was probably the first time he'd ever been rejected. He took a deep breath to calm down, then pointed at Dubong. He asked her again, his face full of disbelief, "You'd rather drink with this punk?" Now, he was pissed. He moved closer to Dubong, sizing him up. The two of them locked eyes, glaring at each other. Still in disbelief, he questioned her again. "You're actually into this country bumpkin?" At that point, she'd had enough of his attitude. She picked up her glass, took a sip, and then snapped at him. "Get lost!" The entire bar suddenly went dead silent. The two goons were completely dumbfounded. The boss had reached his breaking point. He turned to her slowly and said, "What did you just say?" Before he could even finish, Dubong grabbed his head and slammed his face right into the tabletop. Looks like he'd had enough, too. He glared furiously at the boss and warned him, "She told you to get lost." Chapter 62. The only sound in the bar was the whirring of a fan. A fight had just broken out, catching everyone off guard with that sudden face slam. The boss was out cold, blood streaming from his nose onto the floor. Shocked by his power, she was lost in thought. How could this kid be so strong? Was he using some kind of secret weapon? Seeing their boss down, his two lackeys grabbed beer bottles and pointed them right at his face. One of them threatened, "You, let our boss go." He wasn't planning on letting them off, but seeing everyone staring, he just sighed. He dropped the boss and shot them a death glare, telling them to get lost. The boss, still in shock, slowly backed away. He touched his nose and saw a streak of blood. Gritting his teeth in fury, he rolled up his sleeves and straightened his clothes. Then he looked back at Dubong and spat, "You just wait, payback is coming for you." His two goons helped him up and dragged him out of the bar. The sound of their footsteps faded away. Once everything calmed down, Dubong looked back at her with a smile and sat down beside her. He said cheerfully, "Problem solved. Let's get back to our drinks." She smiled, as if she'd just realized something, and said, "Looking for information? All right then. I enjoy drinking with powerful people." But Dubong, completely oblivious to her intentions, just laughed and said, "Heh, and I enjoy drinking with beautiful women." Just then, the waitress brought over 2 Mai Tais for them. Dubong and the woman clinked glasses and took a sip. She swirled her drink, then shot him a look, giving him a warning. "But I should warn you, the guy you just beat up is named Kim Thon." She then stared down into her glass. She added, "He's a big shot around here. Now that you've hit him, I bet there's gonna be trouble later." Surprised by this, he asked her, "So you know him?" But she just smiled and brushed it off, saying she'd only heard of him. But no matter how rich or powerful this Kim Thon was, Dubong looked at her confidently and said, "It's fine. I'm not scared." Intrigued by his solid courage, she smiled admiringly. "You're interesting. What's your name?" Dubong took a big gulp from his glass and answered, "Dubong." Now that she had his name, she stood up to leave. "I'll remember that. Thanks for the drink." Still unaware of the trouble heading his way, Dubong just stared blankly. "It was my honor to buy you a drink." Seeing how polite he was, she suddenly got an idea. She knelt on the chair, put a hand on his shoulder, and leaned in close to his ear. She blew softly, her voice a slow, seductive whisper. "So, why don't you stay with me tonight?" With that, she pulled back, smirking at his flustered face. Steam was practically shooting from Dubong's ears, his heart pounding like a jackhammer. In the end, he couldn't resist her tempting offer. With a look of pure excitement, Dubong shot up from his seat. "You got it." He was a hopeless simp,